All right, it's Sunday, January 24th, 2021, and I just wanted to show you what's going on in the canal. I have shown you videos lately of them testing the ice and making those crazy circles that look like alien circles, and now they're adding trees. That's actually what they do. They're putting trees in the middle of the canal, which I don't know why. Maybe I guess because, okay, it's sort of a circle here, so it's kind of around the area where you would come in here. And maybe this is a little kids area to skate in, or maybe this is just where you can skate into, what does that say? I guess 5th, maybe that's the street we're on, and that's where you would put on your skates. It's minus 17 degrees out Celsius right now, so my hands are getting cold just having them out of my gloves, so I won't film this too long, but I just wanted to show you what's happening on this World Heritage site. That's like the longest skating rink in the world. I think somebody else made a longer skating rink somewhere, but that's what it's been for a while. Capital Skates, so I guess maybe you can rent skates there. This is where you can get first aid if you're like me and you're gonna fall. There's probably a beaver tails pastry thing coming somewhere. Maybe it's there. That's a new bridge they just built recently. And so there you go. And right now, I was gonna go for my jog, and my mom said, it's minus 17 out. I'm like, yeah. She's like, just run for 20 minutes along Queen Elizabeth Way. I was like, okay. And then she yelled something. I'm like, what'd you say? She's like, it's closed to traffic. I'm like, oh, okay. Because they did that in the summer. I don't know if it was because of the pandemic or just they do it every summer, but it's, this is the road here along the canal. And then they just close it up, and then people, actually, that doesn't look closed. That's a car on it. So I think, okay, it was closed to down there. So I ran along it for something special, because normally I would run along here, like that person's doing. But I thought, well, if the road's closed, I should run along the road. So I ran to there, and then I came over to look at the trees, and it's a good thing, because I probably would have got hit by cars. My grammar has frozen in the cold. And then there's Lansdowne Park, where they used to have the exhibition, and now they have artist markets where I interview artists. And there we go. And lately I've been seeing, I don't know if I've got to know any of the runners, but some people I recognize, and some people nod and say hello quickly or something, so that's fun. I saw a couple of snowmen back there. Let's see. Of course you can't get to know people if you can't see their faces at all. There's a couple of giant snowmen back there, and it just hit me like a wave. I was like, oh my God, what if I was in university with, my good male friend Loic, and then maybe some girls I liked, maybe Sarah or something that I was, thinking maybe she'll like me, or Lisa, and then we were building snowmen, and it would be like this thing, and it just hit me like a wave, and I was like, oh God, like maybe there's people right now at university enjoying that feeling, and it just hit me, and I was like, oh, is it possible to have pleasure like that when you're older? I don't know, different kinds of pleasure, right? I don't know how it all works, but I'm trying to just stop thinking about you wish you were 18. Just enjoy the moment. You're running around, it's nice and crisp. Your sister's getting picked up by your dad. You're gonna have lunch, you're gonna post some videos. So I'm trying to get into that mind space. And look, yeah, there's people running here. There's a guy in blue. There's somebody in orange. There's somebody in a blue over there. Like, we're all just out running. We're all just having fun. Larry King died yesterday, 87 years old. So 39 years older than me, I guess. So maybe I've got that much longer. And he had some kids. He's got a kid who's 20 and 19. So he had kids in his 60s. And he had 7 wives. There's some number about it. Like, it's 6 wives, but he married one twice. Or it's 8 wives, and he married one, something like that. But that was a lot of wives. I guess I should have started earlier. It didn't occur to me that I could keep having different wives and getting divorced. Although I asked my dad once, I said, should I marry Jen? The first Jen? And I'm like, what if I don't like her at some point? Or what if we don't get along? He's like, well, then you get a divorce. I'm like, oh. Never occurred to me, because I was always like, oh, if I marry this person, that's it forever. It doesn't matter what happens. But I still didn't take that advice and just marry her. And then it occurred to me yesterday. It's occurred to me recently in the past few months. I did this photo when I was like in high school, so maybe 17 or 18. I was in grade 12 photography class. Oh, my hands are freezing. I'll make this story quick. And I took a composite photo of like my dad sitting on the table with his hands on heads, like thinking, feeling, I don't know, regretful or whatever. And then there was a shot of me, like young me. I was 18. I was sort of floating in his thoughts. And then I took a picture of his dad, my Zeta, floating with a cane, trying to look really old. And that was like my, middle-aged man thinking about his youth and what's coming. And it just occurred to me, that's exactly, like, I'm that age that my dad is now. Like, if I had a kid the same time as him, I'd have an 18-year-old kid who would be doing his project, and I would be sitting here thinking about him. And then my dad is now the age of my Zeta when he was that age, like 74. So I feel like by not having kids, I've left a hole. Like, there's supposed to be a kid in my life right now that's doing the things that I did, that I could have been teaching and stuff. But like I said, Larry King, had kids through his life, and all you can do is in the moment. And the entrepreneur group I just did this week on Facebook and stuff. It's all creative women of all ages. It's kind of the tribe I've always looked for, like in university. So just enjoy that. And there's people tobogganing, and of course, that's what I wish I was doing, but whatever. Maybe I'll get really rich and move to Florida so I don't have to... my hands are freezing. All right, enough of this. Ow, 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 ow.